Hi everyone, I'm Red Hill Eagle, and this is Ironsworn Starforged Dawn Skaii Skada Killer. Chapter 1, Lost in Translation, Episode 2. Just a little bit of housekeeping before we move on. I realise in the last episode when I played a poker game, I probably should have set up a track for that rather than just kind of keep giving myself or attempting to give myself an advantage to win the game. It's not always that I don't understand the rules, although there are a lot of occasions when I don't understand the rules. Sometimes I just don't think I should be using a particular rule here. It'll all come with experience, and it'll all come with keep playing, and it gives me quite a lot of comfort when I listen to other podcasts and people make the same mistakes and they go back and they say I should have done this, I should have done that. I'm going to continue to make mistakes. I'm going to continue to use wrong rules or rules not quite as they should be. It's not deliberate. It's not in any way to give myself an advantage, because trust me, this adventure isn't going the way I thought it was going to. But that's just a bit of housekeeping out of the way, really. Let's recap from the first episode. I am a Skada killer, and Skada is a machine. It's a type of android. It is the most evil being in the universe. There is nothing like them. They are just ruthless. I mean utterly ruthless. So I am a Skada killer. It's not my job, it is my vow. So I do have to do other things to get by, make ends meet, make money. But this particular first adventure, I have found some sort of text or code underneath the plating of a Skada machine, and I'm trying to find someone who we hope will help me translate this code or text, and I can work out what it says and what it's for. So I'm finding Kaiser Volkov, and at the moment I'm having trouble. I have gone to his research centre and found nothing of any use really. So this is where we left the last episode, and there is something else I can do to try to find out where he is and if he's still on this station. So to find out if Volkov is still on Luminous, I'm going to head to like a departures lounge. Some kind of area where ships depart the station. On arrival, I'm met by a member of staff and I ask them if they can find out if this Kaiser Volkov, if they can look on their system to see if Kaiser Volkov has left the station at all, at least by proper means. They tell me they can't really go into that information, and it's I don't know, customer confidentiality or whatever, but I lie to them and I tell them it's over a matter of it's a family tragedy. I think that's probably the best thing. It's important that I find out where he is. It's a family matter. It's a family tragedy. And then I don't often lie. I kind of think I've got nothing to hide, but I think that's probably the best. If I just say, I'm looking for him, that's probably not a good enough excuse. I need to run a compel check to see if they believe me. So I'm going to roll on Shadow because I've lied. And let's just see if they believe me on that one. And I get a strong hit. I roll an 8, and the challenge dice were 3 and 5. So they believe me. I can mark 1 to my momentum. So they take me into an office to look up the data, and they tell me that he has left Luminous and he left on one of their ships, so it's all above board. He hasn't just escaped via some back hole in the station somewhere. And he left about 25 days ago, so roughly a month, and he was bound for a place. Let's roll. I'm probably going to edit this slightly so you don't have to go through the whole. But I'm going to roll for a settlement. Okay, I've come up with a planet called Veris. It's a jungle planet, and it's humid and it's rain soaked. So there's always a lot of rain and a lot of storms. Maybe not all the time, but certainly kind of in Earth terms, sort of 350 days out of the 365. It always seems to be raining. Not necessarily always hard, but there's always some sort of rain in the air. But it usually is quite hard. So I'm going to mark progress because I've found out that Volkov is still alive, and or at least he was 20 odd days ago, and he's left. So I know that he's not on this station. I'm going to roll a progress check here to kind of get rid of this, because the vow is to find out if he's still on Luminous, right? And I found out he isn't. And maybe I didn't word this vow quite right, because yeah, I should have maybe just. But let's go with the flow. Let's use another mechanic, and I'll roll on the progress track. And I fail that. I fail it. I miss. The challenge dice were 10 and a 9, and the progress track was a 9. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Okay, so I'm going to edit this again, because I'm just going to quickly look up the rules and see what I have to do when I miss on a progress roll. Right, there's a couple of options, but I'm going to recommit to the vow. So I need to roll on the challenge, and I get 2 6s. I need to clear 6 boxes from the progress track, so that puts me back down to 3. And I need to raise it a level. So it's troublesome at the moment. I need to raise it to dangerous. Great. Okay. So this has made it more difficult. I think with these progress tracks, although it's ranked as a difficulty level, I think it's more kind of like it's how long it takes you. Well, I guess it depends. But because obviously it's just going to take me longer now. Because it's going to take me longer to complete all the boxes. But I can kind of understand where it could be yeah, I suppose it's difficulty in terms of, well, yeah, I'm going on a tangent here, but okay, so I'm not convinced they're telling me the truth, so I'm going to demand to see the screen, because I think I'm just getting a bit kind of like, oh, I want to find this guy, I want to drive this story forward, and maybe this is partly my fault. I'm not thinking role play game ish. I'm thinking storytelling-ish, and what I mean by that is I kind of know where I want this story to go, but the dice rolls aren't allowing me to do that, and it's the way RPGs should be, I guess. I mean, I'm not an expert, but that is the way I should be playing it. But of course, it's frustrating, bearing in mind in my head now, I actually know how I want this to go, and I need to kind of forget that. But I'm gonna roll on and compel anyway, and just see if they'll show me the screen. So I get a strong hit. I roll a 9, and sorry, I was rolling on intimidation, because I was kind of like, you're going to show me this screen. I'm not, so it's intimidation, and I got a strong hit. I rolled a 9, and the challenge dice was 6 and 5. So she shows me the screen, and I'm going to ask the Oracle if they were telling me the truth, because I think that's only kind of fair. I don't just immediately want to assume that no, they weren't, or yes, they were. But I'm going to roll it on a 50-50, because I kind of like, is it likely that they're lying, or is it unlikely that they're lying? I don't really know. So I'm going to roll it on a 50-50. And the Oracle comes out as yes. So they were telling the truth. Okay. Kaiser Volkov has left Luminous to head for this Veris planet. And I'm going to mark progress to find out if Kaiser Volkov is still on Luminous. So I'm now up to 5 boxes, because I can only mark 2 now, because it's up a level to dangerous. And I think what I'm going to do here actually is just to kind of iron things out a little bit, I guess. I've kind of narrated the end of this quest now, but the boxes aren't at the end. and I failed that. So I'm going to reword the vow. I'm going to change it to find Kaiser Volkov on Veris. So it's the same vow. I'm just rewording it after I've had to adjust it to dangerous, and because as I say, I've kind of fulfilled narratively. I have fulfilled that vow, but mechanically, I haven't, and that might be something I need to kind of learn how to pace myself a bit better, maybe. So yeah, I'm just going to change the vow to find Kaiser Volkov on Veris. So leaving Fort Veris then. First of all, I contact Kai and I tell her that where Volkov is. Well, where are we think he is? He's left Luminous and he's headed for a place called Veris. And I want to try and make a connection with Kai here because I think it'll be useful to just start making connections, I think, and it's a different mechanic to use. So roll plus heart, and it's a weak hit. I only got a 3, and the challenge dice were 5 and 2. So really, that was unlucky. I mean, wow. So I I do create the connection, but there's a complication. What kind of complication can there be? I don't know how I can. What kind of complication? Yeah, we can be friends, but I mean, this is where I struggle. If you make a connection with someone in real life, does it always come at a cost? I mean, I know I've rolled a weak hit, so mechanically, yes, I need this to come at a cost, but how do I narrate that? How do I put that into this? I'll tell you what. As we're on the, I'm going to say phone. As we're communicating, we're chatting, and she agrees that she'll, I can contact her if ever I need to, and she can do the same with me. But she mentions something. She knows who I am. She has heard of my reputation as a Skada killer. But not only that, because that's not a big. If people know who I am, people know who I am. I try to keep it a secret sometimes, but it's not. If people know, fine, they know. Unless they're working for the Skada, what does it matter? So I'm going to have it that she knows something about me that I've tried to bury for many. She knows a secret, something I did or something. I haven't worked that out yet, but something I've done in the past, or I don't know, just some. She knows a big secret about me that I've tried to bury, and I don't quite know how to feel about that at the moment. It's like, okay, well, hopefully you're the only one who knows about that, but I'm not going to press it. I've got other matters to attend to right now, but we'll circle back one day and I'll have a conversation with you about that. Okay. So I'm going to set a course for Veris. And I think at this point I'm just kind of thinking to myself that as a vow, I don't know. I mean, is it a weak vow narratively? I'm just trying to find a translator to translate this text, but my character in story, this text or code or whatever it is I've found could be an image. Whatever it is could be part of an image. Although it looks like text or it looks like some sort of code, so we'll stick with that. I really honestly believe it's something important. Why would they hide something underneath the paint, I guess, for want of a better word, underneath the paint of one of their own machines, and then put it into battle? So I realise this has got to be something important. So that's kind of like I'm just trying to, I guess, convince myself that this is a good vow. So I'm going to set a course for Varys then. and I get a weak hit. I rolled an 8, and the challenge dice were 9 and 6. So I reached the destination, but there is a complication. Okay, another complication to imagine. Okay, well, this planet is always seems to be under rain, so weather's pretty bad. And I'm contacted by the various incoming security control, and I tell them why I'm here, and they advise me that I'm unable to dock at the moment due to severe weather. At best, I can land my ship at the nearest sub-dock, so it's not as big, it's not as well maintained or whatever, but it's a sub-dock, but it's right around the other side of the planet. You know, a million miles away. I mean, obviously that's an exaggeration, but I've got to travel there. But it's obviously it's quite far away from where Volkov is likely to be hiding. Or having said that, was he being clever and he decided to hide at the smaller known place on this planet? Because going to the main dock, the main place where you would go, yeah, maybe he would hide at the smaller area, actually. So I'm going to decide to take my chances anyway. I haven't got much of a choice. And I'm going to go round the planet to the correct docking station. And I'm going to roll for a settlement here again. And I come up with a settlement called Janus. It's home to a smaller docking station. And along the way, Echo and I have a discussion, and I ask if there's any. Do you possibly still have some sort of signal from Volkov's life signs, life signals? And I'm clutching at straws here, I guess, but let's have a go at it. I'm going to roll on Echo's health then, and find out if he has that ability. I know he's a utility bot, but again, I'm just trying to think of ways here to drive this story forward. I get a strong hit. I rolled an 8, and the challenge dice were 5 and 4. So it's a +1 momentum, and Echo can indeed still detect Volkov's life signs. As long as it's not too far away, it's within like a certain range. I mean, I don't know what, maybe like, I don't know, a few miles. So it's not, he can't pinpoint him, but he knows if he's within a reasonable travelling distance. But, you know, it's a start. So as we fly to our destination, I kind of hope that Echo picks something up. But there's so much kind of, because it's a jungle planet as well, it's like covered in jungle. So you could pretty much hide anywhere on this planet. So to have some sort of life sign tool is actually quite useful. I think I would have been stuffed if I didn't get a strong hit there. I mean, obviously, narratively, I would have figured out a way, but so, and I can imagine as well, it's probably pretty dangerous in jungles, right? All kinds of creatures and animals, and you know. So we get to our destination anyway. We fly to our destination, and I'm going to ask the Oracle along the way if Echo picks up any signs. And I'm going to say it's unlikely because we've just got here. It's like, you know, yes, I want to drive the story forward, but don't want it to be too easy. So unlikely, and the Oracle says no. So okay, no life signs picked up at the moment. We continue on to Janus. Set a course. Roll plus supply, which is 4 at the moment, and it's a strong hit. I roll an 8, and the challenge dice were 1 and 5. So I arrive without a problem, and I take +1 momentum. Oh, I'm already at 10, so I won't take 1 plus momentum. That's going to be really useful, that 10, I think, at some point in the future. So I arrive at Janus. I ask Echo again if he can detect any life signs from Volkov's signature. I'm still going to roll it at unlikely, and the Oracle says no. So I think just to kind of get this story going, I know maybe I'm making it slightly easier on myself, but next time I ask, I'm gonna roll it on 50-50. It'll be in a different location. It'll be, I mean, I won't do it for a while, I don't think. But I think next time I ask, I'm gonna roll it on 50-50. Still doesn't mean it's going to come out as a yes. So I need to head to like an arrivals department. I just seem to be moving from department to department at the moment. But again, let's just find out if if Volkov got off the ship here, see if I can get any information on him. And yeah, again, I seem to be using these kind of same moves at the moment. We'll get to a part soon where I'll be doing some different things, hopefully. So I go to arrivals, and I just start to think how difficult this is just to try to find one man. I know space is a very big place, but how often do people, escape one starship, or sorry, it's more of a space station, to another planet? I mean, how often does that happen? I mean, how often in your real life do people emigrate to another country? But anyway, yes, I'm starting to think to myself it's difficult, but I think we're close now. At least I think we are. Space is a big place, but I do start to think that maybe I could put this vow on hold. But then I do kind of like just keep thinking about this. This could be really important information that I could use against the Skada. Don't know yet, but I really want to find this guy. And I just hope Echo's right. I just hope Echo is correct in saying that this guy can help us. So I also start to think to myself, what is a historian and an archaeologist and kind of research centre lecturer running from? I mean, what kind of trouble can he be in? What sort of what can they get into that can forces them to run from a space station to another planet? And again, that kind of drives me to think I'm doing the right thing here. Got to find this guy. So I'm asking a member of staff again at the arrivals this time. And I'm sort of thinking about my life. I'm usually in the middle of a battle being fired at by droids and avoiding death by the skin of my teeth. And here I am, again, playing detective on a missing persons case. So, but I'm convinced it'll be worth it, as I just said. I think it'll be worth it in the end. And I kind of think to myself, it had better be. So I asked the man at the desk to look up Kaiser Volkov. And I'm not kind about it either, because I'm getting a bit fed up with this chase now. And I'm kind of like, I'm not forceful, but I'm quite firm. So I'm going to roll Compel again, and I think I'll roll Iron as Intimidation, because although I wasn't forceful, I mean business. I'm like, you are not going to mess with me now. But I'm going to ask politely, do you have any information on whether a Kaiser Volkov got off of the ship here? And I get a weak hit, so he agrees to help me, but at a cost. So I rolled a 7, and the challenge dice were 10 and 4. So again, there's a complication. This is what I struggle on. I mean, why couldn't it just be a case of, no, he didn't arrive? Or, yes, he arrived, but I don't know where he went. Complication. Okay, well, the only thing I can think of at the moment, and again, this will come with experience, this will come with listening to more podcasts, this will come with, learning a little bit more about how to role play, but all I can think is just to give him money. So yeah, he sort of says he kind of rubs his thumb and forefinger, and I just think, is there no one in the Forge who's honest, who'll just do something for nothing? It does run through my head that, me not slitting your throat should be enough. But I'm not that kind of character. I'm the good person. I'm just a little bit fed up with, trying to find someone across the galaxy. So I'm going to take one from supply, and he tells me the information. So gather the information. So I'm still got to gather information. I've still got another role here to perform. So it's not all kind of like, yes, it's a weak hit, but it doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to learn anything. So I guess they're different moves, but okay. So let's roll on. Let's gather information, and I get a weak hit. I rolled a 2 because I rolled on my wits, which I probably forgot to tell you, and the challenge die were 8 and 1. Wow. Okay, so at least it's a weak hit, I guess. It could easily have been a miss there. So I'm given a new insight, but with a complication. So yes, he arrived safely, but he's not here now. He left on foot, and they tell me he left out of the western gate. He refused transport. Usually you have to take some sort of transport out of this dock because it's dangerous out there. It's jungle. But he refused transport, and they can't force him. And this member of staff's actually, I was actually quite worried for the guy because it's treacherous out there. No one refuses transport. Well, not anyone in their sane mind would refuse transport. So I'm going to mark progress anyway because I've discovered that he's still on this planet, right? Because he hasn't come back and got another ship unless he's walked over the other side of the planet in 25 days to get to the other dock. But I'm going to say that's quite unlikely. So I'm going to mark progress. It puts me up to 7 boxes. So I decided then to leave Janus on foot outside the western gate. Let's go the same way. And I just think as well, Volkov couldn't have gone too far if he's on foot. Maybe he's meeting someone. Maybe there's someone he's meeting quite close by. I just think he wouldn't have gone too far. And he couldn't have got too far if he's on foot. So when I get out the gate, I kind of just scan the area, just look kind of what's around. And I'm going to ask the Oracle if I see anything that might be of interest, like kind of in the distance or whatever. And I'm going to roll 50-50 because I don't think it's unlikely that I would see something in the distance, but I don't think it's likely that I'd see anything close by either, like close by. So I'm going to roll 50-50. And yes, the Oracle comes out a yes. So there's something in the distance. And this settlement, this dock, is based on a hill, so you can kind of see quite far, really. But there's a lot of jungle, so you wouldn't see any sort of small structures on the ground. But I do see in the distance what appears to be like the top of a building, like it's a tower, but not like a massive tower because you can only just sort of see it above some of the trees. So I start thinking to myself, would Volkov have headed there? Is it somewhere, a place of refuge? Is it somewhere where he could have? It could have been a meeting place. It could be a place that's thriving with. I'm not going to say thriving with people because I think. Yeah, maybe it could be. I mean, we'll see when we get there, I guess. But there's something there, and I think. What's the point in? There's no point in me going in any other direction. Might as well head that way. I know it might seem the most obvious place, but what else? What else? Just go in a complete opposite direction, and it's kind of like I'm either going to find him or I'm not. Right? He's either going to be going this way or he's not. And I think I probably need to rest up soon myself anyway. So let's go and see what's there. And there's no path, so you are sort of meant to go out another gate with some sort of transport or something, and but there's no path, so it's quite difficult getting through, and I have to sort of just trust my sense of direction that I'm heading in the right way. Because once I'm down this hill, I'm not going to be able to see the top of that tower, and I'm just going to be in foliage and trees and stuff. So I've just got to kind of trust my sense of direction, and Echo isn't a survey bot, so can't kind of use them either. So I'm going to set up another progress track then for this. I'm going to call it Travelling Through the Jungle of Veris to the Tower West of Janus. And I'm going to set the rank to Dangerous. And I think because it would be dangerous, but also, maybe we can have some things happen along the way. We'll see what we roll, but yeah, I'll set it to Dangerous. But I do need to be quick. I do need to kind of hurry and catch up with him if I can. I'm 25 days late, but let's hope that wherever he's gone, he's still there, and not moved on again. So I do want to sort of be as quick as I can, but then I've got to be careful as well because there's all kinds of things that can hold me up here: trips, falls, creatures, animals, obstacles that get in my way. So, but I'm going to be as quick as I can. So I'm going to roll plus edge. I'm going to undertake an expedition and roll plus edge. And I get a weak hit. I rolled a 7, And the challenge dice were 10 and 2s. 10s love me at the moment, don't they? Okay, so I mark progress anyway, and I'm travelling through the jungle. So I'm up to 2 boxes there, but I do need to make suffer moves because it was only a weak hit. And I'm going to say that my health is down 1, and I'm going to put my spirit down 1 because, yeah, maybe I've got a few nicks and grazes along the way, bumping into trees, scratching myself, whatever. So, and yeah, that affects my health, but also my spirit as well. I was like, this is just going to be a nightmare. I kind of wish I had some sort of land vehicle, but I don't. All I've got is company, really. All I have is Echo with me. So I think for the rest of the journey, I'm gonna, or at least for this section of the journey, for this next one, I'm taking it a little bit more careful and being more vigilant, looking at my surroundings a little bit more. So I'm going to roll plus wits, and my wits is only 1, so I've really got to get something on this. And I get a miss. Well, guess what? One of the challenge die was a 10, the other one was a 4, and I rolled a 4, so that is just a flat out miss. I did think about burning momentum, but it only gave me a weak hit, so let's mix things up anyway and make them interesting, and let's say that I've reached the dangerous waypoint. So I'm going to pay the price, and I think I'm just going to pick one because when I roll on pay the price, when I've sort of done a few tests, I don't seem to get anything that makes sense. So I think the best thing to do is to sort of pick one. I'm going to say that I encounter signs of a looming threat. And I come to a clearing where there's like a camp. And there's some people there. How many people? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to roll a d6. And whatever the number is the number of people that are there. And they're either friendly or they're not. I don't know yet. I might decide on that one. So I roll a 6. So, well, would you believe it? The highest number you can get. There's 6 people. And they're they're enjoying themselves. They're having a bit of a party. There's food, there's drink, there's dancing. They're just having a merry time, right? Okay, and they look like they're not. They don't look like they're official people or anything like that. They're probably just normal people that are just, I don't know. Maybe they're teenagers or just young people that are getting away from the elders of their settlement and just we're going to go and have a good time. We're going to go and have fun, and that's what they're doing. But they hear me just sort of rushing through the undergrowth. And I don't see them at first, so I sort of, I don't know, get through a bush. There they are. They hear me go through that, and then they just immediately stand up, turn around, they point their pistols at me. They point their weapons. I just throw my hands up. I kind of did think to myself that I should draw my pistol, but I'm not going to be able to shoot 6 at the same time. So I tell them, hold fire, hold fire. I'm not here to, I'm just going through the jungle. I'm trying to get to somewhere. And they ask who I am, and they say, what are you doing out here in such a dangerous place? If have you come from Janus, you should have taken transport. What are you doing out here? And I asked them the same thing. I said, well, what are you doing out here? It's just as dangerous for you as it is for me. And I guess they think, well, we've got safety in numbers, but they kind of think, yeah, all right, you got a point, and we don't really want to divulge into what we're doing because maybe what they're doing isn't particularly above board or legal. So they kind of they leave it, and they can see that I'm not a threat. There's 6 of them, there's 1 of me, and a utility bot. But they can kind of see I'm not a threat, and they just think, they can see my grazes and scratches and cuts. And do you want some food? And they're like, there's more food there that can feed double the amount of people. And I'm starting to think as well now that maybe that food was stolen. Maybe they've stolen everything they've got here, and that's another reason why I don't want to go into too many details as to who they are and why they're here. And I can see they're having a good time, but why here and not somewhere else? They just don't want to go into too many details, and they kind of think, let's just keep this person. We don't know who they are. Let's keep them on side. They're not, there's, as I say, there's 6 of us, 1 of them. What can they do? So they offer me food, and they offer me refuge. And so it's kind of like a mutual unspoken understanding. We just kind of think, oh, I'm not going to ask you, and you're not going to ask me, and that kind of vibe. So I attempt to recover at this camp. So we sit down and we start to eat and we start to chat and we start to talk, and we kind of like we're connecting. I'm not going to make any connections here, but what I mean is that they just really are relaxed with me now, and like, yeah, you're not a threat. We're not going to do any harm to you either. We're actually enjoying ourselves, and not to the extent where I get up and dance, but I'm content and I'm comfortable, I think is the right word probably to use. And I do think that this is a good time for me to rest. I know I'm kind of desperate to get to Volkov, but I'm hurt, I'm tired, spirits down. So I'm going to run the Sojourn, if I pronounce that right, the Sojourn test, and just see if I can sort of recover some stats here. So it's a roll plus heart, and I get a miss. I mean, you can't make this up. I've rolled a 7, and the challenge dice are 10 and 9. Have I rolled anything yet that hasn't had a 10? I'm going to burn my momentum. I mean, it might seem like a really strange time to do this, but I'm not having this. I'm not having this. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to burn my momentum, and it only makes it a weak hit, but wow, it's better than, it's better than a complete miss. So I'm going to choose to just resupply. So resupply move, a weak hit. I roll a 5 and challenge dice for a 3 and a 5. Well, at least it wasn't a 10, but can you believe it? Just had to have one more. Just had to roll one more, and it would have been a strong hit. This is the way it goes, I know. And again, I'm just getting used to roleplay games. I'm sure lots of you out there feel that your rolls are always really bad. But okay, so I'm going to take 2 supply, but I do suffer a complication, and I think the complication. Echo shows the group an image of Volkov, and they've seen him. They've seen him. So I know that doesn't sound like a complication, but they saw him being held by what appeared to be as a prisoner. So they couldn't quite see, but they think that maybe his arms were tied behind his back, and it was 3 figures were leading him towards the tower. And again, when I get there, I'm probably going to have some sort of roll. So it doesn't mean he's there, doesn't mean he went there, but that's the direction they were going in. So I'm going to mark progress actually on my find Kaiser Volkov on Janus. Well, I guess it's not on Janus now, is it? It's Veris. Should change the word in. It's not the settlement; it's the entire planet. So, because I know he's on the planet, it's got to be extremely unlikely now that he's not on this planet. He might not be in a good place. He might not be in a good state of mind or whatever, but he's on this planet. I also mark progress on the travelling through the jungle because I've reached a waypoint. Because reaching the camp, I think, is also kind of seems a bit like a milestone. So I don't know if you can hear this, but it's absolutely chucking it down outside my house right now, and it kind of really gives me the whole various vibes right now. It's sort of being in the jungle, the rainfall and everything of the jungle. So yeah, mark progress on that. It takes me up to 4 boxes, and I'm back up to 9 boxes on the find Kaiser Volkov on Janus. So after the feast, I bid the group farewell and continue on my journey to the tower. So, undertake expedition, roll plus edge, because I'm kind of a little bit recuperated, although I haven't put my spirit or health up. Narratively, I've rested, so I am, ready to kind of like go at speed again. So I'm going to roll plus edge, and maybe it's a bit cheeky because edge. Well, no, edge is only 2 actually. I've only got edge of 2, so yeah. Strong hit. I rolled a 7, and the challenge dice were 3 and 3, so it's with a match. So I reach another waypoint, mark progress through traveling through the jungle progress track. So I'm now up to 6 boxes, and I come across a road sign. Although there's no road. Okay, I didn't think about that one, but there's some kind of sign or stone that just has like it's pointing in the direction of Janus. But there's kind of like there's nothing else. It doesn't point towards the tower. It doesn't point anywhere else. And I think I'm just adding this here to kind of make it that I've just reached a waypoint, but I don't want to reach the tower yet because I'm further in my finding Volkov track than I am in my getting to the tower track. Which I suppose I could work out a way of finding Volkov before I get to the tower, but it wasn't the way I kind of envisaged me going. Yeah, I just kind of think wherever this tower is, or whatever this tower is, it doesn't want to be found, or it's just I don't know, it's so old that there's no, it doesn't tell me where it is. I don't know. So I press on, undertake an expedition again, roll plus edge, and this time it's a miss. I rolled a 7, and you're not going to believe this one, double 10. So I'm going to take my health down 1. So yeah, through my eagerness again to get through the jungle, I managed to stumble and sprain my ankle. It hurts like hell, and it slowed me down for the rest of the journey. So I'm going to pay the price. I'm going to take away another spirit point because, again, I'm kind of like, is this ever going to end? You know, I'm just trying to find someone. I'm just trying to find someone who's a lecturer at a research station. How difficult can it be? So yeah, my head's sort of dropped a little bit, but I do kind of stumble on, hoping to sort of shake off the injury, and you know, my spirit has taken a dent. So undertake expedition again. I think roll plus wits, because again I've hurt myself again, and I need to just watch where I'm going in this jungle. I get a weak hit. Yeah, could have been worse. I rolled a 5, and the challenge diet were 6 and a 1. So, going to mark progress. So I'm up to 8 boxes, but I do face a peril. And I'm going to roll on the Oracle, and I have no idea what I'm going to do. So I'm actually going to roll and see what comes up. Okay, lured or driven into a trap or dead end. So I'm going to leave that episode there. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm going to keep doing this for the moment. I am finding it frustrating in places, but I am enjoying it, and I know it's something I'm only going to get better at, and I'm going to get used to. I think mechanics-wise, yes, I'll still make mistakes, but I think for me at the moment, it's the role-playing aspect. It's the talking myself out of and into situations. But I'll get there. So thank you everyone again who's listened to or watched my videos. I do appreciate it, and I appreciate the kind comments, and I appreciate all the help I'm still getting, and I'm still listening to some great podcasts and, you know, watching videos. And I'm also sort of trying to get tips from other RPGs, just from the role-playing aspect of it. You know, getting to learn how you talk yourself out of or into situations, and some of them have been really good, some of them are a bit bland, but there's one or two, and they're not Starforged, so I will give them a shout out eventually. But at the moment, I want to kind of give the Starforged community the boost, I guess, for want of a better word, because it's been a great community and it really is a great game. So I'll see you all again soon for episode 3 of chapter 1, Lost in Translation. This has been Dawn Sky, Skada Killer. See you all again soon. Goodbye.